No one talks about how lonely self-improvement can be sometimes, and that's why I'm making this video, so we can talk about it together. So if you're somebody who is stepping into a new era of yourself, or you've been on this journey for a while and you're still figuring things out, I want you to watch this video and I want you to listen to what I have to say. Have you ever noticed when you start changing but no one else around you does? This can be one of the hardest things to try and grasp, because you're doing all of these incredible things, you're trying to become the best version of yourself, you're stepping into a new era. It can feel overwhelming. It can feel like you're doing something wrong. It can make you question whether what you want is actually what you want. But you have to listen to me, okay? You will lose out on things that you love the most when you start becoming somebody else. When you start becoming the highest version of yourself, things or people that weren't ever meant for you will disappear. And I know that sounds harsh, but unfortunately it is the truth, because this is something that has happened to me. For example, you might have a group of friends where you go out every single weekend, you go drinking, you do the same things, but deep down you feel like you're living a lifestyle that you don't want to live. So what do you start doing? You start changing your habits. Instead of going out on the weekend, you decline to your friends and you stay in. You start working on yourself. You might go to the gym instead of drinking. You might go on a run instead of going and doing random things. And as time goes on, you start doing these things more and more because they make you feel good, granted. But then you start to realize that maybe your friends aren't your friends. And that's not because they don't care about you, not because they don't have your best interests at heart, but it's because they see you doing things that maybe they want to do themselves that they're not prepared to do. They might not feel comfortable going outside of their comfort zone, trying new things. They might see you doing your own thing as an excuse to not spend time with them. They might think that you're trying to avoid them on purpose. And unfortunately, it could be one of the hardest things to have to go through. And you start feeling a distance between yourself and these people. And that's when slowly they start turning into people. And before you know it, you feel isolated. Now, there is light. It doesn't stay like this forever. You will start meeting other like-minded individuals like yourself on the same journey as yourself, who will inspire you, who will help you grow, who will help you want to get better. But you cannot stay stuck in the same routines because of other people. And there's a very good saying, which I love. If you surround yourself with 4 millionaires, you will become the 5th. But if you surround yourself with 4 alcoholics, then guess what? You'll more than likely become the 5th. And this is a harsh reality. Now, I'm not saying alcohol is so bad for you. Going out for dinner is so bad for you. Of course not. Everyone has their own preferences, and it's up to you how you navigate your time and if you can find a balance. And that's really good. But you have to be mindful of the decisions that you make, whether they're going to make you a better person or whether they're going to lead you astray. Something else I've noticed is that when you start hitting all of these achievements, you feel really proud of yourself, as you should. And you feel like you can't talk about it with other people because it might come off in a braggy way, or it might look like you're trying to show off what you've done. But in reality, you just want to tell someone. You just want to say to somebody, look what I did. I'm so proud of this. Like, my past self would be in shock that I've even managed to do a portion of this. And unfortunately, people will start hating on you for this. Even people you thought were your closest friends. First, they want to support you, but they don't want to see you doing better than them. So before you know it, the support starts drifting, and people who you thought would be there along the whole journey through the highs and the lows, they start fading out, and you can't hold on to that. And yeah, it's hard. Of course it's hard. It hurts. Sometimes it feels like a breakup. Maybe it is somebody you're in a relationship with, but you just have to remind yourself that you are becoming the person that you want to be, and you can't let any fear of doubts or emotions get in the way of that. Your life is too important to be held back by the fear of judgment. Something else which I think is quite hard to grasp, and it happens to the best of us, is people only know or remember the old you. And there's probably people in your life who have been in your life for a very long time, who you might not have spoken to for a while, just because you go on different paths and different journeys. But you start questioning it and you're like, actually, they don't even know me anymore. I'm not that person I used to be 5 years ago. They might have a whole different persona of who you are now, and you cannot allow that to hold you back. And I think sometimes people don't know how to relate to the person that you're becoming. You know, they won't get you. They won't get why you stay up late. They won't get why you choose pain and discipline over comfort. They won't understand why you want to go on a run at 3 a.m. instead of staying in and eating a Domino's. You know, people just won't understand you, and that's okay. That's fine. You're allowed to feel everything, and you're allowed to become the person that you want to be. Life is so short. We literally get a limited amount of time on this earth, and you have to put your own thoughts and feelings first, because your life is yours and yours only. And a few other huge things I've noticed along this like self-empowerment journey and this whole growth journey is like how truly lonely it can be. Like, you can be in a room full of people and still feel so lonely. You could talk to people all day long every day and still feel like you have nobody. You feel like nobody understands you, and you're just trying to navigate life. You're just trying to show up for yourself the best you can every single day. And some days it's going to be easier than others. You know, some days you're going to want to do nothing. Some days your motivation is going to be gone. But that is when you have to show up for yourself 10 times more, because that's where your growth will happen the most. When you show up for yourself, when you do not feel like it. And I think, like, when I reflect back on it, I'm like, wow, I actually do grieve the person I was a lot. And I think that's a healthy thing to do. Of course, you don't want to stay too stuck in the past and like what things could have been, how they used to be. You do want to focus on the present moment, and you do want to focus on progressing and moving forward. But equally, like, you will probably grieve your past self. You will grieve your past life. Now, not to say that life made you completely unhappy, but say in my case, at the time, yes, I was happy, but I wasn't living a fulfilling life. I wasn't doing the things I wanted to do. I wasn't working the job I wanted to work. I didn't have the best eating habits. I didn't go to the gym. Whereas now, somebody might look at my life and be like, wow, you got it all together. You know, like, you live on your own. You got your own place. You go to the gym. You eat good. You've got a successful business, X, Y, and Z. But this isn't to say, like, you are truly happy when you get what you want, you know? And that's why you just have to remind yourself to be here and be present and be alive and be grateful for everything. And yeah, I have days when I mourn my past self, because life was easy. You know, I didn't have any stress. I didn't have any worries. How nice of a feeling it was to eat whatever I wanted and not even care what effect it had on my body. Yes, I could demolish a pizza and sides and fizzy drinks, not even think twice about how many calories was in it. Don't get me wrong, that was a nice feeling, but then I'm like, well, actually, I don't want to be living my life like that, no. But you will grieve it, and you will just grieve this past version of yourself that you used to be, because at the end of the day, we're human, you know? You're gonna reminisce parts of your life, whether that's relationships, jobs, old lifestyles, old habits, hobbies. And if I could give any advice on that from what I've learned on my own journey, it would be just embrace it. Reflect back and understand that you had to be that person in order to get to where you are now. Unless that person existed in the first place, you wouldn't have the knowledge, the capabilities, the talent that you have now to help you move forward, to help you grow. Everything you went through shaped you into the person that you are now. Just like the person you are now is going to shape how your life is going to be in 5 years, in 2 years, in 10 years. Every single decision you make daily is leading up to the person that you're going to become, because we're changing every day. And I don't think we're ever going to hit a point in our lives where we're like, I'm fully satisfied with the person that I am, because again, we're humans. But that's why you do have to do things that make you happy in the moment. You have to find peace in solitude. You have to find happiness just in small things in life, and be grateful for everything. And lastly, something else I was thinking about is how lonely, again, it can feel when you're building a future, when you're envisioning your future. And of course, you have all of these goals that you want to achieve, and you might tell people about them, you might not tell people, but no one can see your vision yet, say other than you. And then that, if you start speaking about it to people that would never like even dream of having like these type of visions that you have for yourself, they start calling you delusional. They're like, you're not going to be able to do that. Like, what planet are you living on? You can't do this, you can't do that. And then that is when the fear and the doubt starts creeping in, and you cannot allow it. Do you know how many times in the past people told me that my business wouldn't work? I couldn't move to Thailand. I couldn't get what I wanted. I was just delusional. I'm just a girl from the south of England. Like, you know, I can't do what I want to do. But guess what? I proved them wrong. And it's not about proving people wrong. It's about doing it for you at the end of the day. But genuinely, I remember when somebody very, very close to me, was literally about to launch my business, right? I launched my business of December last year, so December 2024. The very end, like December 31st, right? And I remember I was showing someone very close to me a few days before I launched, and I said, oh, this is what I'm doing, you know, like people are going to pay me to coach them and help them change their lives and their bodies like I did with myself. And they laughed at me, and they literally took my phone when I was showing them like my platform and my app. And they said, you're not going to be able to do that. Why on earth would somebody pay you? They didn't say it in a mean way. It wasn't their intention. They was just trying to be realistic with me. And I was like, well, I wouldn't quit your job if I was you. You know, why people aren't going to pay you. I remember they said to me, oh, I paid £20 a month for this workout, this, bosh. And so why on earth would I pay X amount and invest into that when you can get cheaper alternatives? And I said, because they're paying for me. They're paying for me to coach them. They're paying for me to talk to them, to motivate them, to check in with them, hold them accountable. You're not just paying for a workout or a meal plan. You're paying for somebody to support you along this whole journey and help you get to where you want to be and make sure you do it. An app's not going to be able to do that for you. A random workout plan isn't going to be able to do that for you. And then that is when I realised, like, okay, there are people around you who clearly don't want to see you do good. They tell you that they've got your best intentions at heart, but in reality, like, so if I could give any advice on that, do not tell people what you're doing until you've done it. Because 9 times out of 10, people just do not want to see you win. And they will go at anything to make sure that you don't get there. They will put so many thoughts and ideas of fear and doubt and that you're not capable in your head, that it will literally make you afraid to try. But you can't be afraid to try. And genuinely take it from somebody who literally quit their job of 5 years, left their relationship of 5 years, moved across the whole world, started a business, entered the complete unknown, not knowing what would happen. But it worked because I believed in myself, because I cared about it enough to try. And I was like, I have to do it, and I'm not going to stop at nothing until I reach my goal. And I've reached all of my goals this year, which I'm so incredibly grateful for. I'm literally so thankful, and I'm sat here right now like, wow, like this is legit my dream, to be able to just sit here and talk, and like this is my job. And if I had listened to those people in the beginning, I wouldn't be here. I would still be working 3 jobs. I would still be in the UK. I would still be living at home. I would still be in my relationship. And sometimes you have to take risks in order to get to where you want to be. And yes, risks, it's all scary. Growth is scary. But you have to take these risks in order to see what is on the other side. To see what the capabilities are. Okay, maybe things might not work out all of the time. That's okay. There's been plenty of things in my life where my businesses have failed. You know, things haven't worked out, whether that's relationships, friendships, whatever it might be in life. Sometimes things don't work out, and that's okay. Do you know why? Because it's literally shaping you into the right person. It's teaching you. It's helping you grow. Every single thing can be a blessing if you allow it. So just take all of that advice as you will. I just wanted to share my experience really on how self-improvement can feel lonely. And if you do feel lonely, you're not alone. Okay? And I have to tell myself this. There are people that love you, and there are people that do care about you. And yes, you do have to make some sacrifices sometimes in order to become who you want to become, but it's all worth it, because what is meant for you will always find you. And if you can align yourself to be on the right path, then you will attract good things, and everything happens for a reason. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this different type of video. Of course, I'm just very chilled. And if you did like this video, then please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. If you are interested in my one-to-one coaching, I will leave a link in the description down below. As I mentioned, we do help people not only transform their bodies, but their minds. And that is the biggest thing for me, is helping people transform their mindset. I literally had one of my clients text me today saying how she has completely transformed her mind. She used to be so sick every day. She couldn't even eat food anymore because she felt so unwell. She would binge. She had bad eating habits. After just 1 month of working with me, she has completely changed all of that. She doesn't feel fatigued anymore. She's built a routine. She stays hydrated. She feels the best she's felt in a very, very long time. So it is possible. Anyway, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next video.